That's great, because what needs to be spoken needs to be spoken.
And then we are quiet.
Yeah.
Only for a minute, Aggie.
Yeah. Okay, let's observe the breathing. It's so simple. Now we can just recognize that the breathing is just happening. And we can take our attention even deeper to the presence. Who is aware, for example, of breathing. So obviously mind has a tendency to continue. That's fine, let it continue. As you're aware of the breathing, you can be aware of the mind's workings. You can be aware of the feelings and emotions and sensations. And you just stop saying, I feel, I think, I sense, I experience. Just stop saying this and just rest in awareness, in the presence itself. And yes, the mind can be very agitated, can be very loud. The feelings can overwhelm sometimes, but without awareness, who will recognize all of this? And you can notice again your breathing. Breathing in, breathing out, in your just as it goes. Don't make any effort. Don't identify with any movement. Don't fight it either. Just be. That's enough. In this very moment, don't know anything. Just return to the start. No need to try to feel in a particular way. Whatever feelings are now, that's fine. Don't act them out as well. Let them be. But be quiet. Don't touch. We are whole days running in identification and forgetfulness. It's so important that at least 15 minutes we sit like that and dedicate some time to the life, to the love, to the presence. Returning to the source. And it is not the you and the source. It is one. It's waiting for you, even when you don't recognize it. No problem. The mind can be assured that it will be always welcome when he just ready, just wants to pay attention for a moment to it. It will be welcomed and fully embraced. This presence, your own self, is just here, unconditionally, waiting to hug you, waiting to take it on hands. Yeah. Eternal parent, which is one with the child. Not judging, but present. The mind is moving, sometimes is sleeping, sometimes having dreams, sometimes gives you good feelings, you experience good feeling, bad feelings. That's fine. But irrespectively of all of that, this presence is always here. always love. Don't need to become somebody, require some qualities, or make specific decisions to be worthy of this eternal and infinite. Because you are not separate from this from the beginning until the end. And after the end. And before the beginning as well. Yeah, and when you go through your activities, doesn't matter. It supports you in all your activities. It drives all your activities. It does all your activities. So what is there for you left to do? Just one thing. Just keep quiet. Just don't say, I do this. It's not wrong to say that, you can say it. But don't fool yourself. Okay? I want you to read you something. Just before the lesson, I opened this page and I read one page on Papaji's book. So it's new, was new for me as well, just 15 minutes before the lesson, before our meeting. And I think it's worth reading. So I'll read to you, it's just short and says it all. When mind is quiet, all is self. When mind moves, the world arises. So be still, throw away everything, and be free. Then, when mind is pure, you will see self in all beings. Give up seeing with the outer eye, and the divine eye will open. If thoughts come, let them come. If thoughts go, let them go. No notion of freedom is freedom. No intention of freedom is freedom. Understanding is objectification. Uncover yourself by throwing away understanding. By trying or by understanding, you will not find the source, because all questions and answers rise from the ego. Find where the ego rises from and it will disappear. Yeah. And it's so important, but how you find that place, if I can say like this, where ego rises from, you just stop fooling yourself. You start saying the truth, whatever it takes. You say to yourself truth, and then you say even deeper truth, and even deeper. And you always remember that whatever you say, it's not the truth. But you must start somewhere. So you start from saying the truth, what you recognize the truth. Because we obviously spoke about it, but I will remind you, because when some emotion arises, mind will always start telling stories, right? You know it, right? So when you suddenly feel not well, immediately a story appears in the mind. It will tell something. Oh, I feel like this or like that, and because of this and because of that. Just check on your own. Check it during the day. And the deeper truth, it will be to recognize these mind workings and meet that which is here. It's so simple. So simple. And see what is that which is here and now is made of. When there is no separation. When there is full abundance. Yes. How to explain this? This is one of the questions. So whatever I say is not that. Yeah, just Papaji used to say just a pointer. Yeah, pointer. You need to look what it points to. There. Not catch to the words. Hearing with the ears of your eyes, of your heart. Listening to the silence between the words. And stop looking for it. It will find you. It already found you. It never lost you. Yeah. Feel free to unmute yourself, guys. You can speak whatever important. You know, I like just one word. Sometimes we become too serious when we look for it. But you know what? Just go after the lesson on the internet and look on the faces of people who are laughing, on children's laughter. Just look on it. That's it. And maybe that describes much better what I want to say. I surrender to this laughter, child's laughter. My word is nothing. That says it all. But I speak to adults, so I need to be also as an adult, right? Yeah.
And I do so agree with you about children and the laughter of children. I just think it's magical. And I saw something incredible on the news today, which actually brought me to tears again. But it was a very different scenario in Yemen, where in the ruins, absolute ruins of a school, I think hundreds of children had gathered together and they were being taught by a 9-year-old boy, a blind 9-year-old boy. And he was just amazing. And he had such a presence. And he was teaching the children everything that he had learnt. And there was no question of discipline or anything. They were absolutely in the palm of his hand. He had so much of a sort of charismatic presence. And it just, my husband and I sat here in tears because these children had travelled a long way to a school which was literally in ruins, in a war-torn country, still not at peace. And there these children had all come and they were very serious about learning. And they were not going to be a generation that failed in their education. They were so determined against all the odds with this 9-year-old blind boy. And he was being taken to and from school by his sister who was blind, and they're being led by a friend who they called their bus, because this other boy who could see was guiding them to and from school, and that was their bus. It was just absolutely incredible that children in those circumstances want this education so much. It was very, very moving. And I hope children here realise just how lucky they are, even though they might be learning remotely. They are at least hopefully in a safe place and not in a school exposed to the skies with bits of shrapnel dropping down on them and things like that. I mean, it's incredible. Did anybody else see that today? No. They've shown it twice on BBC, at least twice today. And it's quite remarkable. So I agree with you about what children can teach us, and that was a big lesson today, really, from children.
Yeah, just this innocence,
Yes.
This
yes.
innocence. Sometimes we, for a moment, recollect about this innocence inside, and we say, oh, I again become like a child. And then we return to adulthood. But this innocence is here all the time. This is what I'm speaking about. This innocence. The mind remembers it from the childhood and associates it with the childhood, because the childhood is natural. But it's here. Where is that child? It's here. It's not, obviously, you became, years went by, obviously. A lot in your appearance and in your understandings, in your level of wisdom and knowledge changed. Obviously, you become very convenient with some practical stuff, how to do things, obviously. But that innocence is here and now. And you can rest in that. And children, doesn't matter where, in Yemen or in the United States, when you are a child and you are innocent, you are not comparing. You are just here. Whatever is, you are fully present and you trust. And as we slow lose this trust, we lose the innocence. So innocence and trust, they kind of the same. You trust unconditionally. You don't negotiate with totality. Yeah, so, you know, when I look on people, sometimes I just see little kids. It's fun. It's fun because, you know, we change through the years, but I always imagine to myself, oh, how this person would be,
Yeah.
was looking when he was a little child, like,
Yes. I know.
and I see it's alive. It's there. Irrespectively of the age, you know, it's just here. Just waiting to be recognized, waiting to be uncovered. And sometimes it can be even, you know, playful. Sometimes it can be not playing, not happy, but it's always a game. It's still this innocence, right? Yeah, so just look in the eyes of a child or into eyes of somebody who did not lose this innocence. And it can come in different forms, you know. There is no rule for this. And this is your own self, innocence. I think Jesus spoke about it, right? He said that until you become innocent like a child, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. That sounds like, oh my God, what does it mean? But it's so simple. How far are you from your innocence? Right? But somehow we might misinterpret it, right? People saying, oh, I need to become like a child. Yeah, so how I survive in this world? But nobody said to you, lose your knowledge, you lose what you acquire. From practical point of view, do what you find the right thing to do. But from psychological point of view, why to pretend what you are not? Pretend to yourself. Why to lie to yourself? I'm not speaking about practical things here, right? But actually practical things then can be driven in a sane manner. Yeah? This is a place of sanity. You're not fighting the current moment, you are one with it. From the place of innocence. You are not fighting. You are not pushing it away. You are not fighting with fear of the next moment. You are ready to step into the next moment. You are ready for it to arrive. You are willing. It might not always be pleasant, but you stop fighting. This is a place of innocence. This is a place of sanity. Then what you do will be driven by sanity and not by your unconscious suppressed emotions, right? Which drive you in habitual patterns. And nothing wrong with it as well, because we all have this. So don't misunderstand. There is not something right and something wrong. It's all well. All well, but when you consciously recognize that innocence is not lost, it's here. What a blessing. What a blessing. What a possibility then to open even more. Mm. I think this is why we attracted so much to children, right? It's so sweet. They can drive us crazy as well, but but it's so sweet, right? And as we become older, yeah, especially we see how grandparents are attracted to the grandchildren, how it is this love. They understand each other perfectly. And then there are these serious parents go to work, solve serious problems. Yeah, but you know, a grandparent comes and play with the child. Yeah, it's like being a child again. So do we need to wait whole life until they become like after, in retirement to become again a child? No, don't wait for it. It's always available for you here and now. Always in your pocket.
No, the irony is, how could I think Pam would probably back me up on this. I can be a bit of a messer and a silly sod, you know, and I was like that very much as a child. And I went to a convent school with very, very, very strict nuns.
Yeah, I can see a little girl when I look at you for sure.
They beat it out of me. They beat that child out of me. You know,
So cruel, aren't they? Lots of the Irish nuns were so cruel. You can't kind of reconcile that side of them with religion or Christianity at all.
no.
But did they?
Oh, they succeeded quite a bit,
How
but
much?
it never left me. The
Sure.
naughty little girl will never go. Pam is giggling away there.
So yeah, I agree. There are traumas of the past for all of us.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. And if person willing, you can actually open this to your conscious. It usually sits in unconscious mind and drives us. And we are not aware of this. But when you go and live it again, fully, openly, experiencing the horror of the situation, you bring it to the conscious. Some courage is needed to start it and go through it, but the relief is worth it, worth it. And I need to say, I went through this a lot. Yeah, just consciously opening this, what was suppressed during pain of childhood. Yeah, consciously bringing it and opening the box, feeling it fully. And sometimes people say, "Oh, I don't feel it anymore." Yeah, exactly. You don't feel because it's suppressed in a box somewhere inside. But when you start to meditate, you go to your center, it's usually sit on the way to the center. And when you bring it, you actually make it free. This is the power of forgiveness, but you don't need to do anything to forgive. It's not mental forgiveness. It's not that I say, I forgive to those who made me suffer. You don't need to say it even. You just fully live the situation consciously without listening to the mind story. Mind will speak like I and oh, what they did to me. Yeah, the kind of victim story. But you don't touch that. You allow mind to speak and you just experience and dive through it to the depths of it. And whatever it brings, yeah, whatever it brings emotionally. But then it's whew, and you make it free. And then, so until we are afraid of looking into past, yeah, until there are some situations in the past that we are rather avoid, yeah, you know, we are like go around it. We say it's already in the past, but if we go around it, we are afraid of looking into them, yeah, afraid of becoming one with them, then it's not in the past. It's here and now. And yeah, and I think this is one of the discoveries of modern psychology, actually. I didn't study psychology, just read maybe long ago when I was 20, I read a bit of Freud. But it's so obviously when you go through self-recognition, yeah, it becomes something that you even want to go through, because the freedom which is revealed here is huge. And the sanity. Yeah, so you kind of, I call it now, return of the lost fragments back home. You become whole, more and more whole, when you let this, then your ego, yeah, become integral ego. Then integrity comes to the forward, full integrity. Yeah, you are willing to step forward when needed, to speak what needed, to tell the truth. Yeah, you stop contracting from these feelings which make you uncomfortable. You stop. You stop, and because you're willing to experience. So yeah, I agree. We went through childhoods, and yeah, obviously, and this time, you know, for example, of your childhood, Emma, it was not a simple time. Yeah, it was not a simple time. And everyone has his own challenges, her own challenges. And when we are children, we don't have tools to deal with it unless our parents aware of that, aware of themselves, but usually not. Usually not. And then what happens that our educators, our parents just pass their own traumas to us. And this is what is called, like, you know, family karma, they say in India. Yeah, so that's it. But when you are willing it to stop on yourself, then you just bring it all to the light. And what does it mean, bring it all to the light? Bringing to the being conscious. So instead of sitting in unconscious, you bring and look on it and merge into it with your consciousness. And you experience all kinds of things. And you go through it, and that's fine. This is a healing, psychological healing. Yeah, so, and sometimes, you know, it happens. Yeah, sometimes I just recognize deeper level of this. And I just go and open it and feel it all the way. Just being fully human, being fully child, which goes through this pain. Innocent. And in that living it fully, as children, we didn't know to live it fully, so we escaped. We put it in a box and put it aside and put on it, you know, this sign on the road, red with white, how you call it? It's like a brick.
No entry sign.
No entry sign, yeah. In, you know, in Russian, we called it a brick sign. So my parent, I remember we drove in a car when I was a child, and they always spoke, oh, we cannot go, there is a brick. We cannot go, there is a brick. And as a child, I was thinking, I was looking, where is this brick? Where is this brick? Took me some time to understand. All my childhood, I was looking for these bricks, and I never found them. But anyway, you put this brick sign, you know, and you don't come to it. It becomes automatic, you know. You don't touch it because as a child, you wanted to avoid this pain. You didn't know how to deal with it. So now as an adult, as a mature ego, you can open and live it through. And make it free, really make it your past. So whenever you look on it again after, you look on it with compassion. You look on it without this internal pain, because this internal pain is also contractions in the body. Yeah, when I was going through these layers of this, I could feel, places in the body which were holding, and you go and it opens, and it might take weeks, days, weeks, but you do it. If you want a psychological healing, you do it.
In that case, I think I've actually been quite blessed because I've still got friends from those days when I was 4 and 5, and I see them, and it's very cathartic because when we meet, we talk and we chat, and as adults, we've all looked back on it and we've picked out the special nuns, because there were some beautiful, beautiful people as well, you know, fantastic educators and wonderful, wonderful nuns. But there was always the one or two who were just, I don't know if it was the wrong profession for them, and that was their choosing. We didn't choose it for them, so they took it out on us, you know. But I mean, we've long gone through this with my friends and everybody who had those similar experiences to me. So that was quite interesting. But when you said, my husband always says that I'm happiest when I'm with children anyway. He says, you're just a big child. But I absolutely love being in children's company.
Yeah. But you know, listening to you now, you say these nuns, who were inappropriate to this job, and that suggests that it needs some investigation, if you want. Investigation not by the mind, but you know, you said I already was through it, so mind will try to avoid. Mind will do whatever, just not to go there. But it's worth going into this experience again. Yeah, and if you need help with this, it's you know, there are many people who specialize in this, people who are very good in psychology, or somebody who understands can help, or you can do it on your own if you feel like. And yeah, so these traumatic experiences, so then you will look on it, you will not see it as these nuns, who made you feel unwell. You will see the hand of God, if you wish. You will see compassion. You will see your own self. You will see love, even in the violence. Yeah? So this is what is possible. But most of the people don't do it, you know, but I think it's worth it. But I think it's worth it after, you know, once you know what peace is. And you guys all know what is this place of innocence, what is this place of trust. Right? You are quite mature, otherwise you would not be here. So I think, worth considering. Don't push yourself with force. Don't go against, but there is a possibility of psychological healing more and more. When we will be fully healed, I'm not sure. This I'm not sure to tell you, but as you go deeper and deeper, you discover your wholeness more and more.